Frank Ranks, week 18. Yes, we're 18 weeks in. We have Marvel, we have DC, we have Independence. We got 7 books to talk about, so let's talk about them right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And just getting off 2 films right now, and I'm leaving for Dallas Expo on Thursday, a couple of days from now, or tomorrow if you're by the time I edit this. I just got off film. I've been gone. I was off. We wrapped like 3 days ago, and I'm already on a plane. So, I'm going to need a break after all this. But remember, too, that if you'd like to read anything that I've written, you can jump into Amazon and just type my name in, or there's a link in the description below. I have a 4-novel sci-fi quadrilogy called Destiny Aurora. It's also on Audible. It's on Kindle. And then I have all my books are on Kindle. I also have my fantasy book called Tales of Ravenor the Iron Witch. I have a Holocaust biography. I'm also working on a new book right now. And my new graphic novel, Fairy Tales of Terror. The pre-launch page on Kickstarter is live. So definitely jump in there and get notified. You can go to the QR code right here, or there's a link in the description below as well. It's going to be lots of fun. And we're going to have a lot of good rewards and perks for that. So don't miss out on that. Again, just go to the QR code. Description below has a link. And it's just a sign-up page right now, so nothing major. Also, remember, you're going to give me a thumbs up if you can. And if you like the content that I do, say please subscribe and share out there. So let's jump into these 7 books. I read 7 books for this week. I didn't read anything digitally for this week. The stuff I'm reading digitally now is actually for next week. But yeah, this... and plus I'm trying to jump back into the swing of things because I dropped off because I was on those productions working 13-hour days. But we're going to start out with a DC book at the bottom of the pile at number 7. And that is, in fact, I have a few DC books at the bottom of the pile. So I always say that very few artists can write the same thing as film, Only a few directors can write. Only a few producers can write. It's very, very small, and it's not the norm. Normally, you stick to your lane. And the guy that's doing Solomon Kane is an exception to that rule. But this is not. And I keep sticking with it, and that is Zatanna. So this is it's done by the guy who does the art, who's very good with art. The art is really good. And that's the only reason I'm really sticking with it. But the plot is all over the place. We have this sword, this magical sword that's stuck through her. She's going to this other plane of existence. They're trying to get Blue Devil. We get this little thing about Blue Devil and his origin and the fact that they can't get through his demon skin. It's just all over the place. We have this Lady White or whatever else, and we have this demon guy. It's just puke all over the place. That's kind of what he did with this plot line. It's just confusing, and it just doesn't make much sense. So when you read it, you're just like, okay, I like how it looked. But the plot's not going to stick with you in your mind. It's one of those, you read and you're done. And then you go to the next one, you're like, what happened in the last one? Because nothing really happened that stuck out in your mind in the least. All right, so that would be number 7. So let's jump into number 6. And this is, which I'm shocked to say, I've been liking what Joshua Williams was doing Superman, but this is Superman Unlimited. It's done by Dan Slott, and he's no Joshua Williamson, I'll tell you that. So on New Comic Book Day, we got to see the beginning of this, where he went into space to stop a meteorite, and it was encased in, which was weird because it wasn't like they created something new for New Comic Book Day. They just did excerpt out of here. So we already knew it was coming. But anyway, there was like a metal thing around the meteorite. When he cracked it, it ended up being all kryptonite. So, which I have a big problem with all of this. But anyway, so it starts out in the beginning with Lois kind of making a deal with this new investor coming in for the Daily Planet. And it's Morgan Edge's wife, I believe, ex-wife. And then we have him leave to go save people. So we get a variety of things with him saving people. And then he goes into space to stop this meteorite. And then we had this whole thing happen with the kryptonite. And he still was managed to put it off course. But it still crashed into the Earth. What? Does Dan Slott not understand how the world works? If something that big crashed, because it was like 10 times the size of him, right? So it's like a missile. If that thing hurtled towards the Earth at that speed and that size, no matter where it hit, it was going to be a cataclysmic event. If it hit the water, it would have created tidal waves, which would have wiped out cities. If it cratered the Earth, that whole area would have been destroyed. But instead, he sees his life flashing before his eyes. So basically, we get Superman the movie, the whole origin story, and it's pages and pages and pages of the origin story. I didn't need that. I didn't need that at all. I don't understand. Why would you do that? And then he wakes up, and I guess there's like the power structure, everything changed because the kryptonite ended up being things that they powered everything with. So now the super family can be hurt all over the place. So like Superboy has a broken arm at the end or whatever, and Kara looks like she's been beat up. And so it's changed canon. Because now, I don't understand it. He totally changed canon now, where the super people can be hurt at any given time. And I don't know if they're going to be pushing that into Joshua Williams' thing, or is this an Elseworlds? I don't know. Because you can't have something like that in one Superman book and not any of the others, unless it's an Elseworlds. So, somebody explain that to me. How he totally changed the power structure and dynamics of the Superman universe, and it's not going to carry over to anything else. So, that's why this is the bottom of the barrel, because I don't understand what the hell he's doing. All right, so let's move on to number 5. Right? So I only have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only have 6. Oops. Hopefully I numbered the back stuff as 6, not 7. I thought for sure I had 7, but I don't. All right, so number 4. I'm going to have to put a little tag in the beginning here, misnumbered. All right, number 4, another DC book. So this is 3 DC books at the bottom of the pile. And that is Titans by John Layman. So I don't dislike what Layman's doing. It's just not great. So he created this new character, Belania, Vedadia. I don't even remember how to say her name. But anyway, she ended up starting out as a villain, right? And she was programmed. So she lost her body completely and is now in an android body. But then she was saved by Cyborg, who reprogrammed her and, fixed her body and all this stuff. I don't really need her as part of this team. I really don't. I don't even know why Dick is part of this team, because he gave control over to Donna, and Donna really can't be in control because he's hanging over it at all given time. And everybody's going to look to him rather than to her all the time. And it's happened. Even happened in his writing. So anyway, she wants to be part of the team. She wants to do stuff. So meanwhile, Dick and Donna are talking to the Justice League. So they're on the tower. The other guys are fighting this stuff, and they kind of let her loose. And she has all these special abilities, and she almost EMPs everything, including Cyborg. So whatever he did to her, he allowed her to be able to affect himself. So that makes no sense whatsoever. They're kind of leaning back into the fact that she's going to become a villain again. I don't know. I almost prefer that. So then we set up, and this is what I kind of like, was really the ending, where Deathstroke is beckoning them to come. They know they're coming, and he's teamed up with the Clock King, who somehow has mental powers, which makes no damn sense whatsoever. And he now has Terra there waiting for them. And Terra was all part of the Judas Project and stuff like that. That was a great series, and they also made it into a cartoon. So I am waiting for this battle to happen. If Venadia then teams up with Terra, that would be a far better thing to do with that character, because she doesn't fit. She doesn't fit in the Titans at all. Just doesn't fit. So anyway, that's why this is all three of those at the bottom of the barrel. Okay, so now we're going to jump into the Wayback Machine, into Marvel at number 3. Got the numbering right this time. Number 3, Fantastic Four by Stan Lee and the King, Jack Kirby. So this is obviously a reprint from 1965. 1965. Can you believe that? And this was really good. It is the Marvel method. If anybody else knows what the Marvel method was back in the 60s, Stan Lee didn't have time to plot everything out. He just didn't have time, according to him. So he let the artists plot everything out. They would draw everything, but have no word bubbles in there. And then he would then put in the narration and the word balloons. That's all he would do. And he was credited for writing it, even though everything was there kind of laid out for him. He just had to, inject the dialogue and some of the narration. That's it. So, he could write that stuff in a couple hours and be done, with an issue. But anyway, this was the story of the first appearance of Galactus. And the Watcher has been in this thing already, because, of course, this is already 4 years into the Fantastic Four. So it has a various amount of things happening with it. So it starts out with the Inhumans, with Black Bolt and Medusa and Crystal. Apparently, at this time, Crystal and Johnny have a thing. And Vulcan, of course, who's Black Bolt's brother, I believe, also wants control of the crown. And he tries to use this sonic thing, thinking that it would kill off all the humans, but he didn't turn it up high enough or whatever. He miscalculated that, and none of them died. It would have been good to see some, back in the day, you couldn't do any of this with blood out of the ears or something like that. But no, so it affected them, but it didn't kill anyone. So Black Bolt was able to stop him, and that was the whole beginning. But then he started something up where it created a dome, and they were able to get out just in time. They used Sue's force shield to be able to basically create a tunnel to get out of there, but it sealed up, and Crystal was trapped inside with the Inhumans, and they could no longer be together. Of course, he wanted to stay, but Ben grabbed him out. He said, I know you're going to hate me for this, but I'm getting you out of here. Really good stuff in that sense. It is a little bit overkill with some of the dialogue where he's like, oh, I have my broken heart. It's like, I can't live without you. That kind of thing. So then they get back to the back to Earth, or they're on Earth anyway, but back to the Baxter Building. And when they get back to New York, the sky is on fire. And he's like, what the hell? And Johnny goes up there, but then people spray him with water thinking he was the cause of it. And Reed locks himself away in his thing, and she says, "Look, I need to go out to dinner or something. You need to get out of here." And he says, "I can't." And then there's a whole thing of rocks in the sky, so it changes, and they're like, "What the hell is going on?" And but anyway, when he walks in, or she walks into the thing, because she kind of barges into his workspace, the Watcher is there, and he's projecting this stuff. And he says, "I had to change it to rocks because everybody freaked out when I put flames in the sky." But it was just a projector because the Silver Surfer was on his way and is searching for another planet, and he was getting close to Earth. So he tried to put like a protective field around it to make it look more like it was an asteroid field or whatever. But he just went through it, and Galactus shows up, and that was where it ends. Really, really good stuff, though. I mean, Kirby did an amazing job, not only on the art, but on the plotting. Because remember, he's the one who mostly did the writing on it. Stan Lee just threw the dialogue in there. Which is really great, too, because really you could put books out like that and just say, here, put the words in, and you could test yourself on creating a story. I think that would be fun. All right, so let's get into number 2. Again, Marvel. Back-to-back Marvel. Wow, that's really unusual. This is the only Marvel book that I look forward to every month. It's really the only Marvel book I'm even collecting at this point. I am getting the Spider-Man Predator one. I'm looking to see the second one of that. And it's still at $3.99, this one. And that is Jed MacKay's Moon Knight. This is kind of like Space Ghost, where it hasn't let me down yet. I really, really like not only Space Ghost, but Moon Knight. I think that he does a really good job. So this is about this Asgardian guy. He's not a god, but he's an Asgardian. And he is an Asgardian drug dealer, and he's messing with Moon Knight. And then this chick, Carver, has this magical sword, and she kills the building that they're in because it was kind of organic. It had a soul, and she killed it. So he goes and tries to fisticuff the Asgardian. He didn't know it was an Asgardian at the time. And he got his ass kicked. But anyway, so now he's going up against Carver, and Carver kills him. So she has this magical blade. She kills him with it, and so it starts out. There was not much plot here, so he had to do it kind of in an entertaining way. So he does it where it's back and forth. So that's told out of sequence. So he starts out where he's all in chains inside the sword. So it's kind of like Katana's sword, where it has souls. And this dragon is in the sword, and he's the one collecting these souls. And he's like, "Yeah, you can't have my soul, buddy." And he's like, "I do. Your soul is here with me." And he's like, "Yeah, you can't have it, though, because it's already taken. I got my daddy." So he's like, "I don't think that's going to happen." And so he's like bantering with the dragon back and forth. And he says, and we get to see a little bit of the backstory on how she got, because I guess she was in some kind of a military establishment or whatever. And she, to save someone, she had to give her soul to the sword. So she's bound to the sword, right? And she doesn't want to be. She wants to be out of it. But so he's bantering with this dragon. And he's like, "I'm warning you, man. My soul's already spoken for. There's nothing you can do." And he basically snaps his fingers, and fucking Khonshu comes and fights this dragon and says, "You are disrespecting me." So he beats the shit out of the dragon, and now he owns the dragon. And he comes out of the sword. He's fine now. And he says, "You're no longer bound to the sword anymore." And now the sword belongs to him. And now he has a weapon to go fight the Asgardian with. Good shit, man. It's good shit. Really a good twist. I love it. I love it. So this is a really good book. If you're not reading Moon Knight, you should. At my number 2. Number 1 is the only independent that I got this week, And it's a book that I ended up, I haven't really been into, but I ended up reading online the entire graphic novel of 6 to 7 issues. And I decided to pick it up, and that's Geiger number 14. The artwork in here is bar none. It's kind of like Rook. So it's got some amazing, amazing art. And it's about a post-apocalyptic world where you have this one guy that is radioactive. I mean, he lives through it, but he's totally radioactive. The bullets can't get to him. He basically burns people to death. And he has these 2 sticks that basically stick into his back. It goes into his skin, and he turns back normal when that happens. But when he removes them, the radioactiveness, exudes. He has a 2-headed dog. He's walking around with a knight. Who is basically like a security guard or something like that from Vegas. But it's a really, really good book. And then he meets up with this woman who has the same thing that he's got, and she's lying to him continuously, and she's basically trying to end the world. I don't know what she's trying to do. So now they're fighting. We have some really good fight scenes with like these military people, like the army and stuff like that. Really, really good stuff throughout. You really care for his group. Like I didn't really care for the night guy originally. I really care for him now. And then there's this Dr. Molotov or whatever else, and he's trying to tell him, look, she's not telling you the truth. I know I'm a dick and everything else, but you're going to have to see through this thing. Really, really good stuff. But anyway, she is trying to end the world. There's some kind of bomb underground or whatever else that's just going to destroy everything. So anyway, good stuff. You can kind of see the mushroom cloud in the background of the cover. Anyway, that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with my list in my ranking or not? Remember to give me that like, give me that thumbs up if you can. If you can, check out something I've written, then go to Amazon.com. But definitely jump into the Kickstarter right now. The pre-launch page for Fairy Tales of Terror is up. You'll see the Cinderella stuff, my crazy Cinderella, who's a murderer, being hunted by Tiger Lily. Captain Hook is in there, hooking people. I gave him a bigger hook. Well, the artist did anyway, not me. I just described it, and he's like, yeah, to do the things you want to do, the hook's got to be bigger. And I'm like, okay, man. I gave him a fairy. I gave him like a fire fairy. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, definitely check that out. The link in the description below, or you can go to the QR code. All right, thanks for watching, guys. You guys have a great week, and I'll see you guys soon.